kids, it's Miss Lori. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing as well as I'm doing here at home. I think we'll read a story together today, but I'm not going to read it alone. I have someone who's going to help me. Pastor Jon? Pastor Jon?
Here I am. Hey, Miss Lori. Hey, looks like you have some friends with you today. That's so nice. I've been feeling pretty lonely lately. I don't get to see my friends much these days.
Me too, Pastor Jon. But I have just the story for us today. Do you think you could help me read it?
Of course.
Okay, here we go. It's from the Jesus Storybook Bible. It's called The Man Who Didn't Have Any Friends. Let me see if I can get a little closer to it. There was once a man who didn't have any friends. None. Do you have any friends? Well, of course you do, but not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any. You're probably wondering why. Was it because he was so short?
Well, that's not a reason not to like someone.
Was it because he had a name no one could pronounce?
Well, neither is that.
Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that wasn't it. No, people didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Taxes were what people had to pay the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to and kept the extra money for himself and made himself rich. Everyone knew what he was up to. It made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one bit.
Well, I don't think I'd want to be Zacchaeus' friend then either.
So they made sure he knew it by doing things like avoiding him and walking on the opposite side of the street and pretending not to see him and whispering things like, "There's that nobody who thinks he's somebody," loud enough so he could hear.
Now that doesn't sound very kind, though. Should we keep reading? Okay, here we go. Anyway, one day, a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town and everyone wanted to see him, even Zacchaeus. Where is he? There he is. There was just one problem. Everyone was taller than Zacchaeus, and he couldn't see anything. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. Luckily, he had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said. So he did. He was surprisingly good at climbing trees for a man who was so unusually short that he had to take a flying leap just to get into his chair in the morning. Do any of you like to climb trees?
Oh, I like to climb trees. I climbed trees a lot when I was a kid. In the summertime, that's where I would go to read my books.
Me too. I like to climb trees a lot. Anyway, from the tree, Zacchaeus, there he is. Oop, there he is, right there. Zacchaeus had the perfect view all the way down the road. Another minute, and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus, and Jesus saw Zacchaeus. "Zacchaeus," Jesus said, "I'd like to come over to your house." Zacchaeus almost fell from the tree. Come over to his house? No one ever wanted to come near his house, let alone inside it. Well, the people saw this, and, needless to say, it made them even angrier. They mumbled and muttered, "Why is Jesus being kind to that big sinner? Doesn't Jesus know about him?" Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a big hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about how he stole or how he didn't have any friends. But Jesus knew. He knew all about Zacchaeus taking things that didn't belong to him, and he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. Lord, he said, turning pale, what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I will give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole. And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled. My friend, he said, today God has rescued you. Jesus loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was Zacchaeus' friend, even when no one else was, because Jesus was showing people what God's love was like, his wonderful,
Never stopping,
never giving up,
unbreaking
always and forever
love.
Wow, so even though Zacchaeus didn't have any friends, Jesus still wanted to be his friend?
Yes, and I think Zacchaeus learned how to be a good friend too. And you know what, Pastor Jon? I brought one of my little friends. Actually, it's one of Gertie's little friends. Too. Just like Zacchaeus, he's kind of small, especially for a dragon, but he's very nice to be around. Pastor Jon, do you have any friends like this?
Let me check. Here's one of my little friends right here. Look.
Perfect. Maybe our friends out there would like to go out and pick one of their friends too. You can pause the video and go find one. Go. Now, everyone show me your little friend. Okay, so even though we can't see Jesus, Jesus is always our friend. So I thought maybe if we can all squeeze our cuddly friends, especially when we're lonely, they would remind us that Jesus is still our friend. And we're never really alone because Jesus is with us.
Great idea. So everyone, hug your little friend. And remember that Jesus is our friend, is your friend, no matter how small you are.
Or anything you've done or feel bad about.
Or how lonely you feel.
Jesus is always with you. Thanks for having story time with us, everyone. See you soon.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.